Welcome to Save Point Sass, where every checkpoint comes with hot takes, chaotic tangents, and a little bit of shade.
Two queer gamers, wildly different play styles. Breaking down what we're playing, what's going on in gaming culture, and what deserves a health potion or a rage quit.
This is Save Point Sass. Load in, level up, and stay petty. So Dee, welcome to the podcast. Are you excited to talk through some gaming news?
I'm so excited, especially since there's so much gaming news happening right now.
Agreed, especially with Nintendo and their Switch 2 Direct. A big part of that Direct, Mario Kart World. In fact, we did see a lot more of Mario Kart World, both in the Treehouse segments, but then also in the specific Mario Kart World Direct, which was just released a few days ago, I believe.
What did you think?
I'm very interested to buy the game, first of all, but let me give you two things that I'm very interested to see, and one thing that I'm a little bit on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing is this free roaming capability. Definitely seems very integral to the whole Mario Kart World environment, right? Whether or not it benefits the game or whether it detracts is to be seen. From what they've seen, it seems very promising, right? Having P-switches all around the world, being able to interact with them, start off challenges, have this kind of single-player adventure, which always is interesting to have, any type of story component.
Yeah, a lot of people have noticed the challenges that are spread out across the world, and many people are saying it reminds them of the recent Sonic game that came out, Sonic Frontiers.
Oh yeah, I think you played it, and what do you think?
I'm excited about being able to roam around these maps. I like that they've taken some of the traditional maps and reworked them, and then kind of meshed them into an entire overworld.
Right.
So I'm really excited about that.
Okay, so second thing I'm most excited for, all these new items. We're seeing a lot of brand new items, we're seeing some nostalgic items, we're seeing new characters. You saw the cow, right?
Yes, it was so cute.
Super cute.
And the dolphins.
So definitely we're getting lots of cute overload from Nintendo. We're getting lots of good items.
But you know, it was weird that they didn't have names. Like, I was looking at the cow and I'm like, no way the cow is named Cow. I was like, wouldn't it be interesting if they named the cow like Roberta? That would have been amazing, but instead we just have Cow.
Just Cow. No, I mean, we'll see. Maybe they'll change the names.
Maybe.
Roberta is a good name for that. But I'll give you my one mid take. Something that I loved in the past game was all this anti-gravity in the courses. I didn't really see too much in the actual courses themselves of creativity.
Well, I think anti-gravity is not making a return, but in some of the clips it looks like you can actually wall ride.
Yeah, they added some new mechanics, the wall riding, the grinding, stuff like that. It looks interesting. But again, we're going to have to see how it plays out in actual races, right?
Yeah.
I think the anti-gravity was a really refined. It felt like it didn't really intrude into the game, but it actually did elevate the gameplay.
Yeah, I have to admit some of the wall riding stuff looked a little clunky.
So let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But after all of this, I'm still going to buy the game. I hope I can but we'll see.
Yeah.
So let's keep it going. We have some other news around Star Wars Outlaws, Nintendo Switch. Tell us more about that.
So sometime this weekend, a clip of Star Wars Outlaws for Nintendo Switch 2 appeared online. It's a very short clip, not in high quality, and I don't think it arrived to much fanfare. I haven't seen it posted around widely. Just random posts on the usual places, Reddit, maybe some game forums. In the clips, we could see the game's major hubs, we could see its open world environments at different times of day, and puzzlingly, during different weather events. So in one of the clips, it was snowing, and sadly, you could tell that the game was not running at 60 frames per second.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was struggling. We're not talking 60 frames per second. We're probably not talking a stable 30 frames per second. This game looked like it was struggling and in maybe the mid-20s.
So we're getting to the point where it might not even be able to be played.
Yeah, I think that calls into question the power of the system. A lot of people have been really optimistic because of statements by Nintendo and Nvidia about DLSS and about AI. A lot of people have been optimistic that we would see a lot of current gen ports. Star Wars Outlaws is a current gen game, and a very heavy one at that. I have it for PC. I know how it runs on my PC. And I think that seeing it run on Switch, not in 60 frames per second, not in 30 frames per second, is a current gen game, really calls into question how far the relationship of third parties on Nintendo Switch 2 is going to go. If we're getting a PS5 game and we're mid-gen PS5 already and it's struggling on frame rates, and I haven't even gotten to the actual graphics yet, if it's struggling that badly, then I'm honestly doubting we're going to get a lot of third parties going forward. They announced a whole bunch of third-party ports for current gen at release. That's half a gen worth of games for PlayStation and Xbox that they've announced for Switch at launch. Well, what about the future? What about 2 years from now and beyond?
Well, what do you think? Do you think it is an indicator of the future, or do you think this is...
Look, we've had a Switch since 2016. I'm on an OG Switch. I know you've upgraded.
I got my OLED.
Yeah, you have a nice OLED that is more efficient, longer battery, runs better. And you did graciously gift me a Lite, which is also an upgrade from my OG. But, I mean, that's a long time. So by the time Switch 2 is hitting its stride, we're going to be in PS6 territory. And there's already rumors about PlayStation 6. There's already rumors about the next Xbox home console. There's already rumors about the next handheld.
So tell me this. For the Nintendo Switch, is this game a buy or not a buy?
The Nintendo Switch 2?
For the Nintendo Switch 2, yeah.
I'm going to say not a buy. Partly because I already own it on PC.
Well, yeah.
And I can have a pretty good experience on PC. I mean, it's a heavy game. So,
I guess that's interesting. So what about from the perspective of a gamer who only has a Switch 2? Would this be a buy?
I'll say it's akin to this situation. Hogwarts Legacy came out on PlayStation 5. It's a good-looking game. It's a nice, expansive world. Lots of characters, lots of high-fidelity assets on screen at the same time. And it came out for PS5 and Xbox and everything else that way. They announced that a year later, there would be a Switch port. The Switch port was built from the ground up. Completely different experience, completely downgraded. And I have a friend who does not own any other home console except for a Switch. They were eagerly anticipating this game. They bought it and never played it past the first hour because it was a horrible experience, both visually and mechanics. I mean, we think about visuals, but how AI runs, how physics runs is also affected by system hardware and power. So we're talking about potentially a complete degradation of the experience. And why would you spend $450 to
get a worse experience?
To get the worst experience of Star Wars Outlaws.
But it's interesting you give the example of Hogwarts Legacy. The through line might be that Switch users are already used to this.
A lot of people, including Nintendo, would agree with you. But you know who doesn't agree with them?
Who?
My friend who bought Hogwarts Legacy for the
never
Switch.
was able to play it.
It was never able to get through it because it was such a horrible experience.
Well, let's see if people buy it.
So a couple of weeks ago, you messaged me and you're like, you have to check this out. And I was surprised because I went to the address and it was a link for a RomHack. I'm not usually into RomHacks. I'm not usually playing stuff that's not on current gen consoles, so I was really surprised. But then I started looking at the pictures and I was like, wait, hold up. Isn't this something that I saw like a year ago and messaged to you? And I was like, isn't this cute?
Well, maybe. I still am debatable whether it was indeed something that you gave maybe a year ago. But the game, we'll say, is Super Mariomon, right? One of my favorite two genres of game, Pokemon and Mario, right? And somehow bring them together into this ultimate RomHack. Both the D and I have been playing it, right? We both got our feet wet with the game. I would say I'm definitely a huge Pokemon fan. Do you...
I'm a lapsed Pokemon fan.
You appreciate the genre.
I am scarred by Scarlet and Violet.
By many of the games. Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet. We just talked about performance for Star Wars Outlaws. Let's not get too distracted.
Yeah.
But
I think the last Pokemon game I was super into was Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. So the Ruby, right? This RomHack was based off of Pokemon Emerald, which is the same generation as Ruby, right? So that's probably why you have an affinity for it as well.
Yeah.
But so we're talking about the game. Let's talk about some of our favorite components of the game, right? First of all, I just want to say at the outset, there's so much love and care that's seen in the game. You can tell that so much passion is... This is truly a passion project.
I think the devs said they worked for 3.5 years. So
I believe it, right? And this is something that you can see that they understand what their demographic likes. They understand what they want.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think in a way they're building a game for them, for people who are like them, people who appreciate games like them, right? Yeah. So I think that care is seen in everything that is shown in the game. Maybe we can start off with the character design.
Yeah, I really love their interpretation of Mario and Luigi. We get like a lanky Luigi who like puts his leg out in his stance, and we have a chunky little Mario with a bubble butt.
Yes. Honestly, I think the animatedness of everything, right? For some reason, even though these are all stills, it almost feels like they're coming to life.
Yeah.
Right? The facial expressions, everything.
Especially the Yoshi.
The baby Yoshi.
Yeah, yes. The baby Yoshi.
The baby Yoshi, the face, the stare down. I was almost
You're intimidated.
I was convinced not to evolve him. Just keep my baby Yoshi forever, right?
I haven't evolved my baby Yoshi. You evolved yours?
Oh, I did evolve my baby Yoshi, yes.
Wow.
So you'll have to see how the face turns out.
Oh no, girl.
The face gains or the face... You go from your regular season of Drag Race to All-Star season of Drag Race.
Oh, it's a glow up?
Your Blair St. Clair first season to All-Stars, maybe? I don't know. But no, the character design is very strong. And even just having all these different characters from the Mario games. And I think they were intentional in which characters they showed when. Yeah. Right? So the first three starter Pokemon are Mariomon, right? We have...
Or they're called captures.
Captures. I keep saying they're Mariomon, they're captures, which is a cute framing as well. That's a good thing you mentioned, right?
Yeah. I mean, isn't it so interesting that they play off of Odyssey with the cap?
Yes.
And then the caps are the things that they put on these monsters to capture them.
I love it.
And it seems like they are trying to incorporate canon events from other games into it. So like the whole captures thing I thought was so well thought out.
Yes.
And incorporated into this. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's like all these meta references, right?
Yes.
The caps, the captures. When you're in Peach's Castle, for example, there were these references to like speedrunning shortcuts, BLJs, and stuff like that, right? Things that you would know if you had this like meta information, right? So it's definitely cool to see all that tongue-in-cheek Easter eggs, right?
But the starting captures.
The starter captures, right? So we had Blooper, we had Piranha P, which I love that. The it sounds so regal, like Piranha P, and then you had the Bomb-Omb. What was the Bomb-Omb? Was it Bomb-Omb or was it?
I feel like it's like Kapucha or something.
Oh, because you bought the game. You were playing the game in Japanese.
No, I'm actually playing this in English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've already evolved it, so I don't remember what it was originally
I was gonna say,
called.
so you chose Bomb-Omb as your starter character.
Yeah.
And what went behind that decision?
Well, so in regular Pokemon games, I'm usually, and I know I probably will get a little bit of heat, judgment, side eye, bombastic side eye.
From the baby Yoshi.
From the baby Yoshi. That I usually pick a grass type as my starter.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something different than that. I've chosen fire type as my starter before. Cyndaquil is my starter. So I thought maybe in a game where I don't know how the mechanics are laid out, how challenging it would be, I decided to kind of go safe and go fire because usually fire has an advantage, you know.
Right. So you were thinking very logical, strategically.
I was thinking with a little bit of strategy, but also I just enjoyed the fact that I could be a bomb. And it looks cute.
That was the fact that it actually was a bomb. Bomb, right? That was super cute.
What about you? Who did you choose as your starter?
So I basically had the opposite assessment of you. I chose Piranha P, right? And in my Pokemon games, I usually never pick the grass starter because I do agree it kind of is the weakest starter. I usually do pick the fire starter. Maybe the water. I usually pick the fire starter because the grass starter, usually there's always grass Pokemon. The water starter, there's always lakes and ponds.
But from my recollection, like in Red, which is the version that I had, Squirtle was rare.
Yes,
if you didn't get Squirtle at the beginning,
all the starter Pokemon you could only get once.
Yeah, but I mean, like even out in other water Pokemon too, because you had to get a fishing rod.
Right, you could only get like the Magikarp.
Right, so it was like water Pokemon were kind of out until you got to a certain point in the game.
Right, but for this game, the way I chose was actually thinking about who would Mario pick. Right? And I'm thinking like, would Mario choose a Bob-omb? And I was like, that's kind of drastic for. But as you get into the game, you kind of realize that kind of is this is just the story. You are actually using some of the villain characters on your side.
Yeah.
So I was like, would Mario actually choose a villain character? The answer is yes in this context of the game.
Speaking of that, are you disappointed that we couldn't choose to be Mario or Luigi?
Oh, that we had to be Mario?
Yeah, that we had to be Mario.
That is interesting. I didn't think about it.
Because that plays into, like, I know we're also playing slowly, Thousand Year Door.
Yes.
And we've played Paper Mario before. And we never get a chance to play Luigi. Maybe we get to play as Luigi in certain instances. But, you know, there's a running gag, and a lot of people have done analysis on this, that, you know, Mario really slights Luigi in the Paper Mario series. Yeah. Which this game also incorporates some of the same writing style and jokes, etc. And so I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we got to be Luigi this time and maybe we had some jokes at Mario's expense?
It's interesting if they reversed the roles.
Yeah, if they reversed it.
Because you're right, there is a very strong story in here, and it does match this Luigi as the younger second brother, or the put to the side brother. Right? Yeah. I think this would be the exact. I mean, we know there's so much customization in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they added another patch where you are Luigi and maybe there's a different rule set, or there's a different way you maybe Luigi. I mean, Luigi has his mansion, right? Maybe he has a stronger affinity for ghost captures, right? So it's easier to.
Or maybe he could have a different overworld mechanic since Mario has the hammer.
Oh, the hammer maybe has a vacuum.
Yeah, maybe he has a vacuum and he can do certain things.
A vacuum to pick up items.
Yes, that would be nearby. Cool.
Yeah, you make it happen. Yeah. Whoever's, yeah.
So how are you finding the core game to be? So this isn't, like we've said before, this isn't just Pokemon. This isn't just Mario. It's also kind of like Paper Mario. It's kind of like Mario and Luigi, the series, Superstar Saga, etc. Yeah. It's like all of these things wound into one. So how are you finding like the core game gameplay?
I'm really impressed that it doesn't feel like a reskin of a Pokemon game. As you're saying, it really has a new core mechanic. It's something we haven't seen before. It's giving us challenge. It's giving us intrigue and story.
Oh, definitely challenge.
Lots of challenge, right? But the way that they've set up the world is very strong. I do like this. having the central world, Toe Town, having different warp pipes. That's a nice way to make it so that even from a game design perspective, it makes it so that you can really have a variety of different worlds in a way that's easily accessible and approachable. And what I've seen so far, I've made it to World 4. I'm very impressed with how much variety we've seen. Each world is completely different.
Yes.
And it kind of has its own character and culture and its own captures.
Yeah, definitely character and culture very strong. I mean, I would say that the theming of each zone is very akin to Paper Mario.
Yes.
They really, it's like a self-contained world, culture, story, very well thought out too.
I think you're spot on with this Paper Mario assessment.
Yeah,
that's exactly, even with the story and the plot and the writing that it's seen is very of that type of humor.
And you're a big Paper Mario fan. I haven't played Sticker Star. I haven't played Origami King. The last Paper Mario I played was whatever game was after 64.
Oh, geez. But,
oh, well, we're playing Thousand Year Door anyway, so I might as well say Thousand Year Door. And so what do you think, since you're a big Paper Mario fan, about how it's taken influence from those games and incorporated it into this?
I think it's taking everything that we see in these Paper Mario games and it's adding it to this Pokemon genre, right? It is showing me what Pokemon could be if it really did emphasize story, if it emphasized this meta commentary, this type of humor. And honestly, I think also I have this nostalgia for this 2D anime, this 2D sprite.
Yes.
Everything runs faster, everything is smoother. I can really focus on the story, on the character design. I'm not slowed down by
anything,
performance concerns, yada yada, right? So I think menus, right? So everything just flows so easily, right? I think I'm able to really appreciate the game for what it is.
I 100% agree. I think that has been one of the most refreshing things about this game and its experience is that, we think of modern Pokemon, we think of Legends, Arceus. We think of, Scarlet Violet, which ran horribly. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
And it's like to go back to this art style where everything is like clear and like presented in a way where it doesn't take time to do anything. You go to heal your Pokemon, takes a second. You want to go from World 1 to World 2, it takes just a couple of seconds. Like, there's no drawn-out process to do anything. And I think that was pretty intentional. Not just because this is a RomHack on an existing engine, but I also think that, it allows them to let the core gameplay shine.
Yes.
The core story shine. The story and the gameplay are the highlight. And everything else just kind of falls into place and supports that. So I think, them choosing this engine, while some may say, it was easy to do that. It was accessible. There are lots of ROM hacks on Pokemon, right? But for them to do more than just a Pokemon reskin, as you said, as we both believe, I think that, they were intentional in saying, we're going to pick this engine and we're going to do it this way. Because they could have done XY, which is 3D.
Yeah.
They could have done black and white, which is also pseudo 3D. They could have chosen a different generation. But instead, they chose this generation.
I think that shows why it's so popular, right?
Yeah.
It might be the most true to form Pokemon.
Right now?
Maybe.
I'm going to say that I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say the most true to form Pokemon is Legends Arceus. I think that was truly the.
No, you're right. Yeah, that was
100% what I imagined when I was a kid. What a Pokemon.
Okay, I'm thinking of game true to form for nostalgia, maybe.
No, for sure. And I think that it's not just the Pokemon nostalgia; it's also the Paper Mario nostalgia.
Yes, the Mario nostalgia.
Yes, it's like everything that we loved about,
or even the wonder. Right? The nostalgia of wonder, right? Seeing these new captures that are really novel and still have some affinity to, right? From having them in another game.
Yeah. So what do you feel about the difficulty? So we made a joke earlier about challenge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of challenge to go around.
I mentioned customization, right? There's a normal mode. There's also a challenge mode.
Yeah.
We're both playing a normal mode.
Yes,
right?
we are.
And as you're mentioning, I'm also finding it to be much harder than a usual Pokemon game,
Yes.
which I very much appreciate.
Yep.
And it's smart difficulty, right? It's not the type of difficulty where it's just you got to brute force it through it, right? You have to be very
can't.
You can't, right? The AI is very smart. It's very clever in how it's using its moves and how it's using its moves against certain captures. I'm finding it challenging though, so I'm definitely having to do a little bit of grinding.
Yeah, I'm in World 4, just like you are, and I think that so far my perspective has been how I used to play Pokemon, and I was just like enjoying the story so much in this game that I was like, I kind of want to get through this because I want to see like what are they going to do next. What is going to be their interpretation of these characters next?
Yeah.
Or the who's going to be the next villain, right?
I guess that is interesting, right? So we both played to World 4, right? You do you think you're going to keep playing after this?
Of course.
You definitely are going to keep playing?
I'm obsessed with it. But I think that my strategy has been kind of like what you would do in a traditional Pokemon game to get to the Elite Four.
Yeah.
Where you just use your starter, max your starter, and then plow through everything else, put on the EXP share, and work it out, right?
No, I feel right?
Yeah, but that don't work in this game.
No, it doesn't work. I was gonna say, right? I tried to do that for my Pokemon. It didn't work at all.
It does not work.
But I like that because then it forces you to find more captures, try to capture new captures.
Yes, and form strategies. There are a lot of just random battles where there's a Pokemon and it's going to use Dig literally every turn.
Right.
So then you have to figure out, like, okay, well, now I have to use a flying or floating Pokemon.
Right.
And I got to get a Pokemon that potentially can curse or hex them or put them to sleep to intercept the behavior. If they're going to do it, if they're faster than you, right? They have they're speedier than you. And they're going to use the move every time. Like, it's stuff like that where some of these battles are set up around very specific mechanics taken to the extreme.
Right.
And if you haven't prepared for that, or if you haven't varied your party enough, you're going to get stuck.
Yes. Have you whited it out?
Many times.
Same. And I feel I need to win again. So I basically have to go straight back to it and try to be, and then I lose again.
Well, like I said, I'm obsessed with the story, so nothing's holding me back from...
The story is great, the mechanics are great,
yes.
The puzzling is great,
yes.
The outer world is great. I'm excited. Are you going to try to capture all the Pokemon? The captures?
I think because it's only 150,
it's
151, secret captures, supposedly, that I would try. But for me, right now, my main goal is the story, to get through and see what they do. What about you?
I want to try to capture all the captures. I want to keep calling them Mariomon. Can I just start calling them Mariomon?
Whatever you want to do.
I want to capture the captures. No, I'm going to capture the Mariomon. But what I want to do, I want to finish the story, and then I want to try some of the other customizations. Right, there's the Nuzlocke mode. There's the hard challenge mode. Yeah, so I'm like, maybe I do try that after I beat the first story mode.
Yeah, well, you can tell me all about that.
That'll be for me, because I know that's not but this will definitely be my game of choice for that, at least for the foreseeable future. We'll see how far I can get.
Well, I'm really enjoying the game, so I think I've spent probably 9 or 10 hours in it already.
There you go.
I'm really enjoying it, and I look forward to putting more hours into it.
So before we sign off, let me give you one food for thought question, right? So we just talked about the Direct, right? We talked about Pokemon Mario. We talked about open source and ROM hacking. Are we pre-ordering the Switch 2?
I love Nintendo, so yes. I think the price is a bit steep. I think we're still questioning on games. We need to see more. But it's coming out in 2 months. I'm ready. What about you?
I think I'm the same way, right? I have my critiques of Nintendo. I have my side-eyeing of what's happening. But the reality is, I am interested in what they're doing, and I want to see what's happening, and I want to play the games.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. Is I enjoy gaming. That's something that brings me joy. Nintendo games generally do bring me joy, and finding a way that I'm able to consume that content is what I'm wanting to do. So Switch 2 is definitely on my pre-order list.
Yes. Well, hopefully we can get a pre-order, and
Yeah.
if not, we're gonna be standing in a line somewhere trying to get it
We'll have to
midnight.
I would be down to wait in line if I had to, but we'll see what the temperature is like.
Yep. Well, until next time.
We're signing off.